Okay, campaign introductions, campaigns 101. This is the full playbook, the offers that you should be using whenever you are launching to your customers. In this, I'm going to be showing our full campaign launch structure for new products. We just did this on one of our customer stores. It generated $15,000 over the course of 2 days. So I'm going to be breaking that out as well. Today, giving away the full farm. Here are our 5 best performing email campaigns for our customers. Anywhere from the 1st to the 5th, you can't really go wrong. Each one of these are going to be heavy hitters. The only thing that is going to change is the context and the copy. Number 1, new product launch. We're going to be talking about the full structure of a new product launch, but whenever you are sending a new product launch email, big thing that you're going to want to be focusing on is going to be introducing the product and building up a ton of hype while cutting down the supply and building a lot of scarcity. Flash sale. Flash sales are going to be offers that aren't anticipated. People don't know that they're coming, and they typically apply for a very tight window. The important thing that's going to be applied here is with any of these offers, but especially flash sale, you want to make sure that the offer actually ends. If you say that it's going to end at 12 p.m. PST, you better make sure that that offer doesn't apply after that time frame. Reason being is because offers work when people believe them. If you make it so that your offer is 12 p.m. PST 10% off in that time frame and it continues to run for the next 3 weeks, well, nobody's going to have any urgency anymore. They know that, well, if they send this out and they say that it's going to apply for a certain time frame, it's not actually the case. So I have plenty of time. There's no pressure. And it kind of makes the offer less effective if you don't actually stick to your guns and end things and cut off supply whenever you say you're going to. Number 3 is going to be best sellers. This typically doesn't have any sort of a sell along with it. It's just going to be something saying, hey, you've checked out our products, you've bought them before, whatever it is. Go ahead and check out our best sellers. Other people love these. They have a lot of awesome reviews. Number 4 is almost out of stock. Again, this is the same thing as the flash sale. Only send this if you're actually almost out of stock and you just want to, completely blow that stock out of the water. The way that you're going to do this is really announcing that the stock is going to be gone and then cutting off supply whenever it is actually out to really turn up the heat. Last one is going to be reviews. Just building credibility and trust with your audience is massively important to make the other offers work. These are our 5 structures that we're going to be doing. Now with this, I'm going to show you a couple of quick examples. That way you can see it. And of course, these are coming from really good emails. Very first one here is a review email. This is all you have to do, right? Very basic image up top, some stars, a little bit of text as far as what the testimonial is, and then a name along with it. So they did about 3 testimonials here. Doesn't have to be anything more fancy than that. Now for flash sales, this is a pretty solid example. 20% off all t-shirts. Here you can see that the 20% off is big. It's bold. As soon as you open it, you know exactly what you're looking at. That's what I was talking about. Small text, big text, small text. Now with this, they have a couple of product recommendations, and they also say that it expires on September 28th. So there you go. Now, a follow-up to this is going to be bestsellers. This is a good example of what a bestsellers looks like. They're just showing you the products. They aren't giving any sort of offer, and they're just really showcasing what they have to provide for you. Very basic stuff. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the basic overview. Where are you going to be creating these graphic assets? If you have experience, if you know Photoshop, do Photoshop. It's going to look a lot better. But if you don't have any experience, don't worry, don't fret. You could go on over to canva.com. They have a free option and they have a ton of templates for emails specifically. Canva is a really easy photo editing tool for you to be able to actually create the graphic assets that you need for your emails. Now, whenever you are creating your emails, you could build out templates for your campaigns to reuse those same exact structures. So let me go ahead and show you exactly what I mean. If you go to the email templates section, you could go ahead and press create template. And what that is going to do is it's going to save the elements that you have. Here you can load up things like the text, font, style, size, and color. You could also load up the logo and everything like that. Then whenever you go to actually build out your campaigns, you just grab one of these templates and just use it over again. That way it's not starting from the ground every single time. Now, whenever you are scheduling campaigns, what is the ideal open rate? Ideally, we're looking for about a 20% open rate whenever we send out a campaign. Click-through rate, what are we wanting to see there? Ideally, we are looking for about a 2% click-through rate and a 1% placed order rate. So 20 to 1. What is the ideal frequency? At minimum, I would be sending 2 campaigns a week consistently. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to bump up that frequency if you are seeing that you have really high open rates, really high click-through rates, and really high placed order rates consistently, meaning over the course of a couple of weeks. You could then add on an additional email every week until you start to see a little bit of a drop off. That's when you will find the sweet spot of saying, okay, well, we are having good open rates, good click-through rates at this frequency, and we're starting to see the drop off once we go past this number. So then you'll just kind of sit in that sweet spot moving forward. Now, when should you send them? As far as time goes, I don't necessarily feel like there is a perfect time to send emails. We typically will do anywhere from 10:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. It's a big window. And so whenever we are sending these out, the big thing that I will always focus on is I will send it for the local recipient's time zone. Whenever you're scheduling it, you could say 10:30 a.m. and just send it for your time, or you could say send it during their time zone. That's how I would typically recommend it. As far as doing 10:30 versus 8:30, there's not a significant difference that I have been able to see. There might be a small amount, but no noticeable trends across the brands that we currently run. Now, let's go ahead and dive into the full structure on how we just did this massive product launch for one of our customers. A little bit of context, they were selling their product for $79, and the last time they launched this product 6 months ago, they sold 47. They didn't get a lot of traction, and they said, okay, this product isn't for us. And I said, hold on, let's go through, let's do another launch, and let's make this bigger. So we added on a couple of things to the offer. We basically made it a little bit more of like a bundle. We increased the price to $150, and then we increased the supply to 100 units in total. So previously they were just selling it and they were just trying to sell as many as possible. I said, well, let's sell 100 units, but let's limit the supply. So this is exactly how we generated that $15,000. Number one, segment the audience. So you're going to have 3 layers of your audience. You're going to have the window shoppers, you're going to have the one-time buyers, you're going to have your raving fans. Now, what is a window shopper? These are low intent people. They have very little interest in the store. Maybe they looked, but they typically don't buy anything. Now you have your one-time buyers, OTBs. They buy once, typically an impulse buy. You'll be able to see this inside of your segments. Now, the last one is going to be raving fans. They know, like, and trust you. They buy more than once. They're coming back again and again. They are repeat customers. Once you have this segmented out, you could then head to step number 2, which is building desire. What you're going to do as the initial launch of this offer is going to be announcing the product, but add constraints on supply. Meaning, for example, you will limit the supply to 100, exactly like we did. So don't just say, hey, the new product's launching, and don't put a number on it. Put a number on it. Add the constraint. We are only selling 100. And at this phase, do not allow people to buy. What you want to do is you want to limit the supply, and then you also want to tell them, hey, it's coming soon, but you can't even get it yet. It is human nature to want something more if you can't have it. Tell them where they can sign up to be the first to get in. So what I'll typically do is I will create just a singular landing page. You'll just add a page on Shopify and embed a sign up form that basically says sign up to be first, kind of like this, right? and that's my poor drawing of what we do, but that's exactly what we'll do, right? Now, that's the very first email that we'll typically have. That's going to get probably, a couple hundred people on the list, depending on the size of your store. Now, with this list, what you're going to do is you're going to launch the first email to them. So they are going to have the opportunity to get in at a pre-sale. Now, this is either going to guarantee their spot or add in a couple of other variables. So this first email, pre-sale to raving fans only, we're going to give them a reason to buy during this pre-sale. Now, here's a couple of examples that you could do. You could add a time constraint. You could add an availability constraint for this pre-sale. And then you could also add a price constraint. You could do all of these. You could do one, you could do, 2. The way that we had it structured is we had a time constraint as well as a price constraint, meaning that whenever we launched this to the raving fans, we said, hey, because you signed up on this pop-up form right over here, what we have for you is a $15 discount to this product for the next 2 days only. So if they wanted to get in, they got that $15 discount, and then it was only available for the next 2 days. So the reason that we're doing this is for 2 reasons. One, it rewards them for their loyalty because they got in on this and because they were able to actually purchase the product when a lot of people aren't going to be able to because we're limiting the supply. They're going to love the brand even more. That's number one. Number two is, as an added bonus, this also cuts the supply for everybody else. So remember, we only launched to our raving fans, to the people that are the smallest section. We only launched to these guys right here. We haven't even launched to everybody else yet. And so what we're doing by using these raving fans as the first launch is we're cutting down that supply for everybody else. So there's going to be built in urgency whenever we actually do the main product launch. Now, this is what we will do for the last step. We will launch to the one-time buyers. This would typically be a 60, 90-day segment for the engagement. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to release the remaining supply to those one-time buyers, and we're going to announce how many spots are left. So let's just say we started with 100 and we did the pre-sale to our raving fans. That's going to cut the supply by 20, 30%. So whenever we did this for our customer, we went through and said, hey, we're going to cut the supply by 30%. We ended up having about 67 or 65 spots left. Meaning when we launched this to everybody else, we said, only 65 out of the 100 spots are left. Come and get it. We're going to have this promo for the next couple of days. So this is what the calendar looked like. We built desire for that first initial launch. We didn't allow anybody to buy. We did a pre-sale for the first two people, and then for the first engaged audience, and then we launched it to the one-time buyers for the remaining couple of days. Now with us, we sold everything out within the first day, but what you can do is you can continue to launch campaigns until you sell out or until time's up. So whenever you launch this to everybody else, typically you'll put some type of a time constraint saying, hey, this launch is only going to be available for 72 hours or the next 100 spots, whichever sells out first or whichever happens first. Now, as a quick overview, where are you going to create your graphic assets? Canva or Photoshop. Use templates whenever you are building out your emails. And then whenever you are scheduling your campaigns, what is the ideal open rate? 20%. What is the ideal click-through rate? 2%. What is the ideal placed order rate? You got it, 1%. What is the ideal frequency? We're going to gauge that depending on what the metrics are. I talked about it a little bit earlier. And then when should you send them? You're going to send it anywhere from 10:30 to 8:30 local recipient time. That's it. Hopefully this kind of gives you guys the playbook that you need in order to start launching your campaigns effectively. I'll see you guys on the next video.